Hey there, my name's Chris Winter, and welcome to my review of Teachable for this year. Now in this video, I want to go through some of the pros and also some of the cons of Teachable and help you figure out whether or not it's the right place where you should launch your course. Now, one of the cool things about Teachable is that they do actually have a free trial. So if you do want to test out Teachable at any time while you're watching this video, I've got a link in the description box below and that'll take you there. You can get a 14-day free trial and play around with it yourself. But in this video, what I'm going to do is go and tell you what I like about Teachable and a few things that you might want to look out for if you are going to be using Teachable as a place to sell your course. So let's jump into the review. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the ease of use of Teachable. And I think that this is something that's really important because not everyone is a really techie person, especially if you are a course creator. So generally, if you are a course creator, you're good at one thing. So you might be really good at, watercolor paint, or you might be really good at basketball or something like that, but you might not be really good at web design and web development. And that's one of the great things about Teachable is that they've made it pretty simple for pretty much everyone to be able to have an all-in-one package and create an amazing looking course, but also an amazing looking landing page and sales page as well. And I think that that's one of the best things about Teachable is that they do have a complete package. So rather than having, 5 different services to create your own online course, so say that you might have a landing page and you might use something like lead pages in the past to create a landing page to do that. With Teachable, you can create your own landing page and sales page as well. Or then you might also want to have a checkout page with something like Samcart. Again, with Teachable, they've got their own checkout page built in as well, and you can even do things like upsells as well, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later on in the review. But really, it is so easy to just simply sign up for Teachable, and they've got a pretty good pricing plan. It's not super expensive. It's around about $29 a month for their basic package. But with that, you get so many different things. You've got those landing pages and sales pages. You've got the ability to upload as many different courses as you want. You can upload videos. You can have text lectures. You can have quizzes. You can even upload different coding as well if that's the kind of thing you do. But it's really simple for anyone to have a complete package of landing page, course, checkout page, upsells, pretty much everything you need. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this video, I'd love it if you hit the thumbs up button because that means a lot to me. Let's get back to the review. But it is also pretty customizable as well. And that's another thing that I really like the way in which Teachable is going. When I first started using Teachable, which was probably around about 4 or 5 years ago, their customizability wasn't great. They did have a good base core product, which was really good for being able to upload videos to the actual course. But one of the key components of any kind of course, if you want to get a lot of sales, is having a good sales page. And this is something that they've really improved on in their latest version. So they have now allowed you to have different sections with the sales page. So rather than just having kind of a basic kind of, sales page where it was like, you can have this right here, and then you can have this and this. Now there are like 10 or 12 different customizable modules that you can have, which really look great. So I'm just going to show you quickly here an overview of something that I just created before for a tutorial. I did this in around about 15 or 20 minutes, but you can see that you can really create a really nice looking sales page with a hero image. You can create a video, which is something I would highly recommend pretty much everyone does on a course because it's really a great way to be personable. You can also have your curriculum built in, which is nice because then people can see what's exactly in the course. You can have these grid options. You can have images to the left and right, move it around. And you can even change things, getting a little bit techie here, but you can change things like the gutter width, which is the width in between images and the text. And you can also change the width and colors and background colors. Anyway, a lot of that, I'm a bit of a designer, so I am pretty impressed with how customizable Teachable is, especially with their new sales pages. So that's a win for that one. You can also customize the checkout page and the thank you page as well. So what is the checkout page and what is the thank you page? Well, the checkout page is essentially what you would click once you have said, okay, I want to buy this course, and it's going to come up where you can have the credit card information and you can have, put in your address and things like that. There's a few things you can do with the checkout page. For example, you can add in testimonials. So you can have, I think, maybe 2 or 3 different testimonials of people who bought your course, and you can add a little image there. And you can also add in a few bullet points. Now, like I said at the start of this review, I was going for some pros, but also some cons. So I'm not going to be completely, positive about Teachable. I do feel like I would like to have the checkout page be a little bit more customizable. Just being able to add, different testimonials and a few different, bullet points for me is a little bit, it's not really enough. I'd like to be able to add a video on the checkout page to really kind of, hammer in the point of why people should be checking it out and buying the course. But overall, the checkout page does work really quite well. It's very easy for people to sign up and also put in their credit card information, which is really generally what you want them to do. You just want them to feel like it's a secure kind of checkout, and it's really, really good for that. They also have the option of you to have a thank you page. And again, this might sound a little bit weird. It's, sales page, checkout page, thank you page. Well, essentially what a thank you page is a way in which you can thank people for purchasing your course, but also give them a little bit of information about what to do next, which might be, log in and start the course. But also with Teachable, you can do upsells. And this is something I want to talk about next, which is a really nice feature that you can have with Teachable, which is upsells. So if you don't know what upsells are, they're very commonly used in the world of online marketing. And the best way in which I can kind of let you know what it is if you go to McDonald's and you buy a burger, what do they generally ask you? Would you like fries with that? So that's kind of an upsell. So what you could do with your course is say, okay, you've bought the main course for $100. Would you like this ebook for $20? And that way, you're going to be increasing the total order value from each customer to $120. So the way that Teachable does it is it's a really nice way, and it's a little bit of a, it's pretty sweet, because if someone's already bought the course, they've already put their credit card information in. If they just see your upsell for that ebook for $20 and they say, yes, I want this, they're automatically charged. So they don't have to put their credit card details in again. So this is a really nice feature that they've got with Teachable, and definitely something that I recommend. You can also do coupons on Teachable, which is a really nice feature. I think pretty much every payment plan or pricing plan on Teachable allows you to do coupons, which is a really big feature because it allows you to entice people with different coupons. So say Black Friday, you're going to have a 50% off sale on your courses. You can simply just create a Black Friday coupon and allow people to get 50% off by doing that on the checkout page. But it's also good as well if you want to say, just give like a 10% off discount, but then maybe say the discount is from Instagram or YouTube. And this is a really good way of tracking exactly where people are coming from when they buy your course. And this could also work with affiliates as well. So let's say you have an affiliate that you want to work with. You could say, just have their name. So the affiliate would be Chris or something like that, Chris 10, and then they get 10% off with that. And then it's a really good way of you tracking which are your best performing affiliates. Now, not to confuse you too much, but there are also affiliates built in to Teachable as well. Now, this is on different pricing plans, but essentially with affiliates, if you don't know what an affiliate is, it's a way in which you can get other people to promote your course. And then if they get a sale, they get a small commission. So it could be 20%, it could be 10%, it could be 50%. You can choose it, but I'd highly recommend setting up affiliates if you have people in your industry who can help you sell your Teachable course. Now, one of my favorite features on Teachable, and one that I highly recommend everyone uses, is the drip functionality. Now, this is relatively new with Teachable, but for me, this is one of the biggest features on Teachable, and I think that it really helps both the student, but also the creator. So again, if you don't know what drip is, it's essentially a way in which you can drip out content. So rather than having your course, and let's say you've got 100 different lectures, or let's say you've got 100 different lectures, with drip, you can drip out the content at a certain time that you want it to come out. So rather than all of your content going out straight away, you could say, okay, I want these 10 lectures to come out the first week, then the next 10 to come out the second week, then the next 10 to come out the third week. And what this allows you to do is slowly get the information to your students rather than overwhelming them with all of this content. From what I've found when I've created courses is that if you have too much content available straight away, there's a few different things. Some people will go through the whole course in a day and then they're done. They won't come back to the course, and then, what I find generally is that they won't take in the information as well as they should. It's why generally at school, you have a whole term or a whole semester of content rather than just giving it in, 1 or 2 days. The other thing is that people can sometimes find it a little bit overwhelming if there's 100 different videos that they need to sit through and they're expected to kind of just go at their own pace. So what I recommend is really dripping that content over, 1 week and then 2 weeks and then 3 weeks, maybe something like 8 weeks, depending on what you want. And the other really nice feature about this, and something that I recommend to my students, is that if you drip content and you say do it over 8 weeks, you can launch your course without having fully completed your course yet. So say that you've only got 4 weeks worth of content completed. What I would recommend is that you still launch your course, but then drip it out so you have another 4 weeks to get that content done. So with that ability to drip content, that allows you to do that. So I think it's really good with Teachable on there. So there are a number of different competitors that I'll quickly talk about with Teachable, just in case you wanted to check them out. I'll try and put links in the description box below to them as well. But in general, I do recommend Teachable over most, unless you've got specific requests. So there's a few different big players. There's Kajabi, which is a very similar to Teachable, but generally used for kind of higher ticket kind of prices because it's quite expensive. So whereas Teachable might have a plan for $29 or $39, Kajabi is kind of like in the, couple of $100 a month range. They do have a kind of completely integrated solution as well, where you can create your own website and you can have all emails and things like that. But in general, I think that Kajabi works for some people, but for most people, Teachable is going to work as well. There's also Thinkific, which is very similar as well. But again, all of these are slightly more expensive than Teachable. Another one you might have thought about launching your course on is Udemy. And Udemy is really quite good as well. But the problem with Udemy is that they generally take quite a big cut of your payment. So you'll see if you go to Udemy that, some people launch their course for $100 or $200. But generally, most of the sales from Udemy come through when they have a online sale. So what Udemy will do is discount all of the courses to say $9 or $15. And you could imagine that if you were selling a course for $200 and then it gets sold for $15, you're not going to be making as much as you really want to. And then Udemy has quite a big cut with that because they're the ones promoting your course. Whereas with Teachable, you're pretty much up to yourself to promote your own course. Now, just quickly before, I did touch on Kajabi and say that they had a completely integrated solution, but I did want to mention that Teachable does also have emails built in, which is really quite sweet. So I don't know about you, but if you've ever looked up different email providers such as, MailerLite or MailChimp or ConvertKit, you can see that it gets relatively expensive relatively quickly. And one of the great things with Teachable is that they actually have an integrated kind of system where you can contact the people who've taken your course and message them or email them and get into their inbox. So it's relatively basic with their functionality, but it does have, different templates that you can do. And it's a really nice way of being able to contact people who've either taken your course, say a free course, and you can tell them about your new course, or if they're a paid member, you can tell them about different things as well. So they do have some functionality with actually emailing, which is pretty sweet because if you've ever looked at something like ConvertKit or MailChimp, you can see that prices rise really quickly when you get a few thousand or 10,000 people on your mailing list. So quickly, I wanted to talk about pricing, and this might seem a little bit boring, but it's actually really important because there are different pricing plans that Teachable have, and I want to kind of help you as someone who's quite experienced with this pick the right plan. Now, most people are just going to go for the cheapest plan, and I can understand that, but generally, you'll actually be saving money if you go to the other plan if you get to a certain level with Teachable. So let's take a quick look here. You can see that $29 per month is their basic plan. And like I said, for most people, this is going to be a great way to start out if you haven't sold any courses before. You can have unlimited students, which is really sweet. But the big deal is that you've got 5% transaction fees. Now, 5% might not sound like a lot, but if you are going to be getting, more than 10 students, for example, or 20 students, this can start to add up because with the Pro plan, which is the next one, they don't actually have any transaction fees. So that's why most people, I find, generally move to the Pro plan pretty quickly on. They do have other things with the basic plan, so you can get pretty much everything you need. And this is, like I said before, this is what I would recommend for most people starting out, just getting the $29 one, because you can have coupon codes, which we were talking about before, which are really good. You can get a custom domain, and you can also drip out your course content. So again, really, really important that you can do those two things. You can offer coupon codes, and you can also drip out your course. They also have integrated emails, again, which is what we were talking about before. So again, why would you want to do the pro plan? Well, it's simply going to come down to the transaction fees. So let's say your course is $1,000, which is a relatively it's a middle ground here. So it might seem expensive, but a lot of people sell their courses for $1,000. 5% transaction fee of that is going to be $50, which is quite a lot. So if you are having if you are going to be selling 10 of those courses, that's $500 that you're going to be paying. You'd be better off going for the pro plan, because then you're going to be having no transaction fees as well. Now, there's also the business plan, and for most people, you're not really going to need this. It's $249 a month. Probably wouldn't recommend starting out with that. What I would recommend is just starting with the basic one. Once you get to, maybe 5 or 10 different students, consider going to the pro plan, because you're probably going to be saving a little bit of money, even though it's a little bit scary going for a $99 a month plan, but most people end up doing that. So like I said before, I also want to talk about a few things I don't really like about Teachable. They have an uploader for their kind of media files. It's crap. It's not very good if you want to be uploading things like photos and videos. It's always a bit wonky. So I'd love it if they would be able to fix that. They have the ability for you to create a blog or different blog posts on Teachable. Again, it's a really crappy kind of functionality. It's not a lot of thought gone into it. So don't kind of host your blog on Teachable. It's not something I would recommend. And also, if you do want to dive deep into Teachable and start customizing the code, first off, you can't do that on like a free plan or the basic plan. But once you do want to kind of do it, it's not great compared to other, online website creation services like Shopify, for example, where it's really easy to edit their coding. I found Teachable is a little bit difficult for that. But if you're not going to be customizing your website with coding, Teachable is great for that. So overall, what are my thoughts about Teachable? As you can probably tell, I really like it. I think it's a really good solution if you want to have pretty much everything done for you. So rather than having your website on WordPress and then, having landing pages with lead pages, and then your course through a plugin, and then, upsells through Samcart, you can have it all in one integrated platform. And in fact, I'm going to be creating my own website through Teachable and then having my courses on there as well, because it does pretty much everything you need to do at about 95% perfection. So again, if you really want to make everything 100% pixel perfect and stuff, it's probably not the best option, but for hosting a course, it really is. I know a lot of people who are making so much money through Teachable, over $1 million a year with a pretty basic kind of software like Teachable, because it does the basic things really well. So if you are thinking about using Teachable, like I said before, they do have a free trial. I'll put a link in the description box below right under this video. I'd highly recommend checking it out. You can play around with it and create your own site. And if you do want to, I also have a tutorial for Teachable, which is pretty sweet. I've got 2 of them. I've got a fast one, which is about 20 minutes, and then a longer one, which dives deeper into the design. That's about an hour. Hopefully you enjoy that. Good luck if you are going to use Teachable and you're going to create your own course. You can totally do it. And subscribe if you like these kind of videos. See you next time. Bye.